this is kind of how I'm feeling right now. You know, a little bit of Angelina Jolie going on. I don't remember the movie. But I remember I liked it. What's it called? Somebody come on, tell me. Um, there's like 2 of them out now. All right, so I've been talking a lot about behavior lately. And to be quite honest, I'm not happy about it. And the thought process behind certain people, Maleficent, that's right. Love it. Thank you. Um, just bugs me, because everybody's going to have an opinion. I get it. I respect that. But when it comes to special needs children, there are exceptions. I mean, it's kind of like, me expecting the same courtesy as someone who is in a wheelchair. I can walk. It is my job as an adult to open the door, to accommodate them in any way I can, to help them out, because they need a little bit more help than I do. I need a lot of help, but okay, that's for another day. So before I get started, my name is Raven Woods. I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks IEP. I help parents like you gain knowledge and confidence in becoming the CEO of their IEP meeting. And right after this, I'm going to be going live in reference to my membership. The first live Zoom face-to-face with me is this week. So make sure you join right now at the founders rate. But I'll go live after this and talk about it. I mean, answer any questions you have. But right now we're talking about behavior. And so post a 1 below if it's your first through third time catching me live. Post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. And so we're going to get started, okay? But this is, how I feel right now, all right? Just evil. And all right, it kills me. It really kills me, all right? It does. It kills me. Okay. So I am holding, this is a school district I have dealt with for quite some time. And they're freaking idiots. And I have said to them over and over and over and over, and this is not the same child as the one I talk about on TikTok. That's a complete other story. But this is explaining how it happens all the time. And I'm holding it in my hands. Okay. So y'all are going to die when you hear this. Okay. You really are. So if you want to share this, you can. This is so nuts. I don't even know what to say. Okay. I really don't. So child has behavior issues, obviously. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kellyanne. Who told me it was Maleficent? What's your name? TN. And welcome, Kellyanne. All right. So this child is in a district, but the district pays for private school, but it's not really a private school. Long story. But, oh, hey, Tiffany. So it's not really a private school, but it is. Okay. I'll tell you what it is. It's the Autism Center. All right. So, I'm very frustrated because this child has behavior issues. And here's the worst part is a couple months ago, the child also lost her grandmother. And then right after that, mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so for a child An adult with special needs would have a very rough time with that. I remember in elementary school losing my grandmother, and I was 8, and I remember having behavior issues. My mom even told me I had behavior issues. I was like kicked out of class, and because I didn't know how to handle it. And I wasn't in special ed, but I didn't know how to handle it. It was a lot, you know? And so this child already has behavior issues, and that's why she's in this school. And then those kind of double dose right on top of each other within literally a couple months. And this school doesn't know what they're doing. And I mean, do you understand a discipline referral? When you think of a referral, you think of, okay, I'm going to refer you to the principal, and the principal is going to handle the situation. Or I'm going to refer you to somebody else because I'm not going to deal with it. You know what I mean? So bottom line, this says, okay, and here's the thing, is this is how stupid it is it says on the bottom and even on the top that it's not a document from the school. All right. Because over and over and over, I've said to them, you need to provide, just like the case on TikTok, you need to provide a discipline, okay, report. All right. It's a discipline report because you actually disciplined them. Okay. Whether it's suspension, whatever it is. If you discipline them, you have to provide either an incident report, well, you have to provide really both, an incident report and discipline report, or the incident report can have the disciplinary information within it. Okay, so an incident report would say something like child's name, date, grade, teacher, what happened, an explanation of what happened, at what time. That's very important. A detailed kind of script on whoever was in the room and their information and what they observed, that sort of thing. All right. And then it has to be signed, and then it has to be signed by admin. And then it also has to include what the disciplinary action is. So if the disciplinary action is suspension, then it can say the child is suspended for 3 days or whatever the case may be. It has to include that. Okay. When a child is restrained, secluded, et cetera, that's an incident as well. Okay. They had an incident, you restrained them. Okay. Well, you can't just restrain them and not have an incident, because why would you be restraining them? Right. So you have to provide that. I don't know why school districts are just doing these things and ringing the parent saying, hey, we had to restrain your child today. Just wanted to let you know. Okay, that's fine. But you need to provide documentation that was done. You need to provide a paper trail that was done. And what doesn't even make sense is, why would the school districts not want to do that? Because at the end of the day, if they don't, then if they're going to prove, okay, the child needs to be in a more secluded setting, the child needs this, that, the other, whatever, they have no argument, because they never sent any documentation home. They can say, oh, we called the mom 10 times, in the last 5 months. Okay, show me that you did that. So it covers both people. It's not an evil, it's like the recording. It's not an evil thing. Now, can it be used? Sure, on both ends. But is it a bad thing? Is it done initially and intentionally to be bad? No. And the same thing with documentation. It covers both ends. It covers both people. Okay? And that is important, especially with children with special needs, who have behavior issues, who have any other type of issue that needs to be addressed on the daily. All right. So here's the things that this has. It says classroom is where the location was. The problem behavior was defiance, insubordination, non-compliance, inappropriate location, out of bounds, disruption. Perceived motivation, obtain items / activities. Others involved, staff. WTF? Okay, let's just start from, classroom, that made sense. There's a date, there's a time, happened at 2 p.m., grade 10. Okay, got it. All right. Have one staff member there. It should just say teacher. And then referral type, major. What the hell is that? What does referral type mean? Major what? I mean, are we talking military? What are we talking here? What is major? It's a major issue. I mean, just state what happened. Okay, referral type. Okay, I don't understand a referral type called major. All right, and then problem behavior, defiance, insubordination, non-compliance, inappropriate location, out of bounds, disruption. Okay, well, explain that. That doesn't tell me nothing. Tells me she was, acting out of line, wasn't listening. I get that. And disruptive. I get that. I get it. But you have to be detailed, just like in the IEP, just like with everything else. You have to be detailed, just like the PW. You have to think of things, school districts, like a PWN. All right. By law, in the PWN, you have to state why you proposed and refused something, and you have to detail it. If you go and read what it says to a T, it says you have to describe exactly what happened. Okay? Not a short, blurb of disruption. Oh, defiance. Oh, insubordination. Well, defiance and insubordination are the same freaking thing. Then it says non-compliance. How does a child non-comply? Like non-compliance, is that just, they didn't listen? Well, if that's the case, then defiance and insubordination is the same thing too. So defiance, insubordination, non-compliance, all the same thing. I mean, how's your vocabulary, guys? You're educators. This was written by the director of this school. So problem behavior, defiance, insubordination, non-compliance. What does that tell me? Okay, the child didn't listen. She's got special needs. And that's my, I wouldn't even know how to punish my child on that. All right. I don't even, Brenda says they need opera. Yeah, I mean, think about it. If they went to due process, all right, and said defiance, insubordination, non-compliance, the judge or the hearing officer would be like, okay, what did the child do? Not the vocabulary word of it. We want to know the child was defiant by da 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 da. Think present levels, guys. Oh, wait, they don't know how to write those. I forgot. God forbid. I mean, if they knew how to write present levels the proper way, they'd know how to write these damn, well, then again, this is called a referral, a discipline referral. You already punished the child. It ain't no referral. You already did it. All right. We're not talking about, hey, someone referred you to Raven. Raven didn't want to take the case, so I'm going to refer you over there to Mr. So-and-so. And, I'm going to refer you over there. All right. So a discipline referral. I mean, and then they got it off a app. Okay. This referral, because I've been demanding behavior incident reports. And so they downloaded a form. All right. The dummies didn't realize that on the bottom of the download is the link information. Okay. Come on. Okay. Each state has incident reports. Do you not have access to it or something? Then it says inappropriate location, out of bounds. Well, those say the same thing too. So what that tells me is the child wasn't in her seat. I mean, inappropriate location, that could be standing up and walking around the room. Or, I mean, it doesn't say she escaped, so she must not have left the room. So how was she out of bounds? Like, is there a circle of friends where you can't leave the circle? Like, what's out of bounds? What does that mean? Does the child know those boundaries? Doesn't say any of that here. All right. Then it says disruption. Well, I don't know about you. You know, guys tell me, okay? No, it wasn't PE. It was in the classroom. So then it says for number 3 problem behavior, disruption. So the child was defiant, insubordinate, non-compliant, was in an inappropriate location and out of bounds area. And then they want to tell me disruption. Well, duh. I mean, defiance, insubordination, non-compliance, inappropriate location, out of bounds. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Just maybe it's me. I would assume that would be, you know, disruptive. Yeah. Good word. Good vocabulary word. Good vocabulary word. I'm really. All right. All right. Here's what pisses me off. All right. I'm defiant all the time. I guess I'm insubordinate. And I non-comply with school districts all the time. Well, that's just because they don't, you know, abide by the law and all. And I think I'm disruptive. I can be real disruptive in an IEP, especially when they're, you know, disruptive themselves. But the last freaking thing you're going to do to me is seclude me in a 4-wall room and restrain my ass. I'll be damned if you do that. Y'all don't even click me off. I think I've been clicked off twice this year, and then they clicked me right back on because I sent them an email and said that they removed the parents' rights to you know, and the parent jumps off too. But twice in hundreds of IEPs, so, and then they let me right back on. But you're going to seclude and restrain a child for who the hell knows what the hell they did. I don't know what they did, y'all. I really don't. Defiance, insubordination, noncompliance, inappropriate location, out of bounds. Why are you going to put inappropriate location and out of bounds? Like, what the hell does that mean? And what does out of bounds mean? Like, we're not in PE, right? Like she said, was it PE? I mean, out of bounds, you're thinking like, oh, you know, there's, you know, a line and you can't pass the line. I mean, is there some sort of line? Because this says it happened in the classroom. So is there a place in the classroom that the child's not allowed? Like, does the child know that they cannot go here since they were out of bounds? Out of bounds. Like, that's a first, y'all. Like, okay, maybe it's not a first, but out of bounds. I don't know how to process that one. But why would you restrain and seclude a child for these things? I get it. On the teacher's end, you know, just because I was chewed out on TikTok, go check that shit out. Because I told a parent of mine, she sent her child right on back to school after they sent him home. She sure as hell did, because I told her to. And guess what? They took him with open arms. They sure as hell did. Why? Because they did it the wrong way. They didn't follow their own policies and procedures. And all of a sudden, I end up being, you know, pro teacher abuse. I'm talking about policies and procedures, and all of a sudden, I'm pro teacher abuse. My oldest daughter is a freaking teacher, y'all. Anyway, okay, so all I want is for them to follow the rules and procedures. There are IEPs in place for a reason. There are BIPs in place for a reason. So you can't blame the child for something you're not following. Okay. Do I think that children, can, with special needs can get suspended? Do I think that, all these things that can happen that are, provisions within the, what is it, that stupid book that I never signed, that goes home at the beginning of the year? What is it? The code of conduct or whatever. I never signed that. Don't sign that. But I mean, my thing is I didn't sign it for Skylar. My other two kids, I did. But like for Skylar, I didn't because I didn't know if I was going to be able to comply. So I didn't sign it. And they sent it home, sent me messages, sign. No, I'm not signing it because I don't know if I can comply because she has special needs. I don't know if she can comply with those rules. So why would I sign that code of conduct? I don't agree to it for her. So, bottom line, this was a waste. All right. When you provide and here's the funny thing, y'all. All right. On this, here, let me take off. Let me see something. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. I gotta. Okay. I had to hide the student's name. The parent doesn't mind, actually. She's one whose stuff's going to go on the membership, actually, and you're going to be privy to it. But I'm just going to take it off right now. But hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. Okay, look at this. Look at where it says IEP. It's like crossed out because it said no, and they put yes. All right, and do you see where they put those stupid 1, 2, 3? Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. All right. So then, all right, the worst part is the restraint and seclusion. But then you put her in timeout, you give her detention, you contact the parent, and she loses privileges on top of all that. Now, how is that right? Because this child has a BIP. How are you giving this student all of these punishments? That doesn't make sense. And it shows nothing about the child. And no, there wasn't any staff injuries. There was no student injuries. There was none of that. All right. So we're talking about a child with special needs and behavior issues. All right. Being defiant and being out of bounds. All right. And disruptive in a restrictive setting. All right. And you're going to seclude her and stick her in a 4-wall room, and you're going to restrain her because she didn't want you near her and she was hitting and kicking. And so y'all wanted to restrain her because she was doing that, yet she wasn't hitting and kicking you. She was just hitting and kicking because y'all were coming at her. And because you said clearly she didn't touch y'all. All right. She didn't hit y'all. There was no hitting y'all at all. And then you're going to call mom and do nothing else. With my experience with behavior, and I am not a BCBA, I did finish a lot of my schooling for it, but realized real quick it wasn't for me. All right. The only reason I quit, though, is because I had some things going on with Skylar, but it wasn't for me, so I never went back and finished. But I did do several hours, 100 hours, of working under a BCBA, writing FBAs, BIPs, etc. And then, of course, having 15 plus years experience with children and my own, who has had behavior issues and still does, but nothing really big. And the one thing that most know without any experience is that when a child is escalated, to put them in a secluded room and shut the door is not going to de-escalate them. It is going to escalate them even more. Think about it. And I don't understand that, especially when she was already in a restrictive setting. It's something that she's not the only one that does these types of things. And it could have been handled a little bit more appropriate versus escalating a situation that really needed de-escalated by, and I know this student and know that calm conversation works well. Also, what works is nothing at all. Ignore the behavior. It doesn't mean that a student who has behaviors, it's always attention seeking, because it's not. There are this is actually a child that does do attention seeking behavior, but all behaviors are not based on attention seeking behavior. Okay. A lot of it is an impact of the disability, and we have to go with that flow and handle it appropriately. And in no way do I feel or believe that it is a positive or a win in any way to de-escalate a child by sticking them in a 4-wall room. I always try to put myself in a situation, and I thought about it for a second, and I would have lost my ever-loving shit. Stick me in a freaking four-wall room. I would have lost my mind. And to do that with a child and shut the door, their mind's going a mile a minute as it is. There could be serious repercussions with seclusion, all right, of that feeling. And we don't know sometimes that child's history. You know, what if they were abandoned? What if they have abandonment concerns and disability? It actually is a disability in that feeling of feeling abandoned, because it causes a lot of stuff and a lot of behaviors and a lot of feeling and a lot of things that can really escalate to a whole nother planet by that child feeling that abandonment. And so we're taking a situation of defiance and inappropriate location or out of bounds and disruption and throwing them in a room, shutting the door and saying, hopefully they chill out, versus maybe remove them from the classroom, have a conversation or not, or just walk the halls and do whatever is necessary in order to de-escalate that child. I'm not a fan of seclusion. Tell me, post below, what do y'all think? I don't think that obviously abusive teachers or anything like that should go on, but I don't think seclusion is the answer. I think seclusion is the answer to cause more problems, not the answer to solve them, especially with behavior issues. Hey, you got a behavior? Let me lock you in your room and pray you don't lose your shit. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And you're shutting the door. And let me tell you something, guys. A lot of these seclusion rooms don't have cameras. What if that child was hurting themselves? What if that child has self-inflicting behaviors? Mine did. So who's to say that that child's safe? You're sticking them in a 4-wall room with nothing or whatever for however many minutes or whatever you're doing. And then it says physical restraint duration, less than a minute. Obviously, that child was not that escalated if you're going to restrain them for less than a minute. Less than a minute. Very traumatic for a child. And so when we're working with students who have special needs to traumatize them, just like Yasmin stated, is going to only cause more problems. All right? It's like assuming. All right? When we assume, we usually piss ourselves off to come and get all worked up. We're all worked up. Come on, y'all. You guys know you've done this, right? All right? Because I've done it like 50 million times. All right? You assume something and you're like all freaking worked out. You're like ready. You're ready to fight. You're ready to have that argument. All right? And then you find out like it's nothing what your brain like concocted in this assumption. And you're like, you're okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. All right. You're so right. Okay. Yeah. And you feel like a complete ass. All right. For allowing yourself to get all kinds of worked up over your assumptions of something that wasn't even happening. It was just how you concocted in your head the other person was thinking or why they did something or whatever, right? So it's one of those things where you don't want to do that. You don't want to get yourself worked up like that, right? Why would we want to get a child worked up? Why would we want to? This is funny too, y'all. It says post-incident action debrief. School debrief with student. I mean, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I mean, really the dumbest shit. It has the date, it has the time, has the grade, has the student's name, has the classroom, problem behavior. Totally lost. Can't figure that one out. No idea what the child did. Defiant, insubordinate, non-compliant, inappropriate location, out of bounds, disruption. I mean, I understand those vocabulary terms, but I don't understand what the child did. Then it says perceived motivation. How the hell would y'all know when you don't even know how to follow an IEP and a BIP? Because it shows nothing here of the process and the steps that you took in following the BIP. Man, action taken, timeout, detention, parent contact, loss of privilege. None of that's in the BIP. Nope. Obviously, parent contact. Is timeout, detention. That ain't in that BIP. Loss of privilege. Of what? Why can't you explain this stuff to the parent? If there's questions, I mean, and then the fact that it said IEP no, and then they had to cross it out and say yes. Intervention. Here's the funny thing. Interventions. All right. You got that word? Interventions. This is what they say. Offer choices. So if you offered choices, hypothetically, then why did you do timeout, detention, parent contact, and loss of privilege? Like, which one did y'all do? And then no one got hurt, no one was injured, no one was hit, no one was kicked, nothing. And then you secluded the student, you restrained the student. There was no safety concern. It says NA. No AAC device, and that was put in here. And then on top of it all, this is a downloaded form from Google. All right. Enough said. Enough said. Enough said. I mean, it's unreal. It really is. And these are adults, right? Educated adults writing the discipline referral. Is it a discipline referral, or is it disciplinary action that was actually taken? You secluded the child, you restrained the child, you stated that you did that, but it's a referral? Come again? Enough said. Enough said. Enough said. Yeah. Unreal. Listen, this is the app. It's called app.swiss.org. You do know all states have incident reports. They have them. But then again, this is that same school, y'all, that has a student on a 3rd grade math level in algebra. Mm-hmm. And this is actually going to be shared in my membership. Don't forget, you got Founders Price still. All right. The first Zoom face-to-face is this Thursday. Emails are going out. So let me tell you. Oh, all right. It's not going to be shared this Thursday, but it's going to be shared. And I'm arguing, and I felt like, the heck, this is that stupid stuff from YouTube. Block that girls XYZ. Oh, here we go again. Holy shit. All right. So here's the deal. All right. I'm arguing. And this is what pisses me off. All right. Is I'm the type of mom, you know, my older kids are 27 and 22. One's in the military, one's a teacher. I was not that parent that had much tolerance. Sky, totally different. She's spoiled rotten. But Elena and Justin, I had no tolerance. If I told you to clean your room, you better clean your room. There was no flexibility there. I didn't count to 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to spank your butt. No, I didn't do all that kind of stuff. I didn't need to spank butts. I did spank butts, but I didn't need to spank butts for that. All right, it's called grounding. I didn't have tolerance for that with my own 2 older children, okay, that had discipline without being put in a 4-celled room or restrained, okay, because they disobeyed. They what did they do? Hold on. They didn't clean their room when I told them to clean their room or unload the dishwasher, you know, stuff like that. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. I think that falls under defiance, insubordination, and non-compliance. I have no clue what just happened. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, look. Free girls. NU City. All right. Let me block this person. Psycho people. Y'all can see, right? Post that you can still hear me, just so I know. Look at that. Free girls in the city. Block this crap. All right. All right. So their actions are so punitive. What happened to positive intervention? Yeah. Can we kick a field goal? That's funny. I know, Brenda. Lord. I love it. I mean, yeah. I mean, they have some vocabulary words going on here, but they don't know how to fill out a form. They don't know how to get a form from their state website, and they don't know how to be descriptive in what that happened. Because if you sent this home to me, I mean, this mom's lost her mind. I mean, the emails that have gone back and forth that I have sat back as the advocate and let her have edit. Normally for my clients, I take over emails, but I have let her have full access to do as she needed. And let's just say there has been some words. And this parent lost her mind. When I say lose her mind, I mean lose her mind. I mean lost her mind. Where the school district actually had the audacity to say, you need to be more respectful. You need to be more respectful. Let me tell you, the last thing you would be telling me is to be more respectful if you sent this shit home to me. Try to seclude my child and put my child in some seclusion room. I dare you. I double, triple, whatever you want to call it, dare you. You want to see Psycho? You'll see Psycho. I mean, when I say Psycho, I mean Psycho. Not crazy Raven, not loud Raven, not I'm going to kick some ass in an IEP Raven. No. When it comes to my child, all normalcy went out the door. All right? Because you don't play. I don't play with you. Don't play with me when it comes to my child. Call me. I will come get my child. And if you're going to put her in a 4-celled room, because she would lose her mind. It would torment her. Yeah, I don't know the VIG. Girl, Kellyanne, let me tell you, they are hiding something. And like I said, I don't know if you've been watching me for a little while, but I've talked a lot about, this school district, and the fact that they have this child in a algebra class. All right, and this drives me nuts a little bit. Maybe I need to do another live on it, like pop off here and do another live on that. Maybe I'll do that because I'm trying to separate lives so people can stay focused. So this one's on behavior. So I'll hop off and do another live on this issue, which is when a child is on a graduation track, how you have when they're behind a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years behind. And you want to come at me with, I got to introduce them to grade level material. So if you want to catch me with that one, because I'm done with this ridiculousness. I don't even know what to say. It's ignorant. It's ignorant how it was written. It's ignorant on the information that this reminds me of a freaking progress report. That's what it reminds me of. All right, a progress report that doesn't have shit in it and doesn't tell you shit. And that's not cool. If you're going to put my child in a room, a seclusion room, and we have pictures of it, and you're going to restrain my child on top of that, you better have a good reason. Look, free girls in the city, y'all. Back at it. Lord. All right. Okay. So I'm going to hop off and I'm going to do that live. I've been wanting to do it for a while now. So I'm going to do that. We're going to talk about grade level material when you're on the graduation track and the legalities there and the craziness there. And then how it needs to be dissected for staff because there are comprehension problems. Okay. So it's not just our kids that have comprehension problems. Staff members have comprehension problems too. And we need to explain it to them. So hop on in just a second and catch that because that's some good information. And you just brought that up and that just got me going, Kellyanne. About them hiding stuff and the things that they're doing. And okay. So I will catch you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this circus of ridiculousness. And in the end, please, please, please do not accept this type of information. You march your butts right on into that school. And I would have written all over this and highlighted and everything else. And I would have put it in writing, but I would have marched my butt in the school first. And I'd have demanded answers and I'd have recorded everything. Because this tells me nothing. And then you debriefed the student. What does that mean? You debriefed the student? Post-incident action debrief. School debrief with student. The student doesn't even understand what debriefing means. All right. I'm going to calm down. Leave it alone. I'll see you guys in a minute. So hop off, hop back on. Okay? I'll see you in a minute.